One of the most influential progressive rock bands coming to Oshawa next year. CKDO happy to present Yes at the General Motors Center on Saturday, March the 29th. I'm joined by one of the founding members, bass player Chris Squire. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hi, Gary. Nice to be with you.
Thank you so much. Now, I guess, seeing as it is that time of year, do you got all your Christmas shopping done?
I'm notoriously a Christmas Eve shopper. But no, yeah, some of it has been done because of the, I have a 5-year-old daughter, so whose birthday is also 5 days before Christmas. So yeah, I've had to make some arrangements.
Double whammy for you, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to the concert. You guys are notoriously known for putting on fantastic live shows. Now, this time around, you're doing something a wee bit different. You're doing 3 of your classic albums in their entirety. I wanted to ask, 1, whose idea was it? And 2, why'd you choose those specific albums? Yes, Close to the Edge, and going for the one to perform.
Okay, well, as far as the idea is concerned, we've had this idea, since the 90s, and it's not really an original idea of ours. People have been doing this for a while. I seem to remember, even in the 90s, that I think Steely Dan did a show like this where they would go around and play certain albums at certain times. So, so it's not, we can't take credit for the idea, but normally when we're out on the road, it's because we're promoting a new studio album or new music that we want to put out there. And so when we got to the beginning of 2012, we didn't have a new album to promote, so we thought, let's try putting that idea into practice that we thought about for years of doing 3 classic albums and playing them as close to the original recording as possible. And so we looked over our catalog, and we wanted it to be a kind of a 70s tribute kind of show. So we put all the albums from that era in front of us, and we ended up choosing these 3. We thought they would complement each other really well. We start the show with Close to the Edge, and progress on to going for the one, and then the Yes album is the 3rd album in the show. So it's not done chronologically, but it is each album is in sequence.
Now, does playing the albums front to back live offer any kind of different challenges that you might face doing as opposed to doing a live set where tunes are made up of all over your rather extensive repertoire?
Yeah, because to start with, we don't have. We have limited the amount of stage talk to just in between the albums, as opposed to after every song. So so from that point of view, it's trying to keep the albums to sound as close to the original recording as possible, and. Then, of course, you get a little bit of Fragile as an encore as well. So it's a good show.
Very nice. Now, you were mentioning you didn't have any new music to promote. Will there be any? Is there any new music on the horizon for you guys?
Interesting question. You should ask that, because yes, we're in the process of writing right now for a new studio album, which we're going to be going into the studio just after the New Year, in January. And hopefully we'll be done recording that by March. And so I'm suspecting there'll be some kind of early summer sort of release date at some point.
Now, very nice. Do you prefer the recording part of things, or do you prefer performing live concerts?
Actually, I kind of like it all. I mean, the recording, doing any new music is always a little tougher, of course, because there are decisions to be made about what we're doing, what goes on the album, what doesn't, and and then trying to get everything up to a certain level quality between the different songs. So that's a little more intense from a head point of view, I guess. Having to work that way. And then live is, really quite easy after that, because you're just going out to reproduce what you've already recorded. So that's a little easier on the brain. So, but both in their own way have their own merits, and both are enjoyable experiences.
Speaking about enjoyable experiences, I should tell you that when we were putting this interview together, I wanted to thank you personally. You've actually co-written one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs. We're playing all Christmas music now. "Run with the Fox." Love that song. Love that song. And nobody plays it, so...
Thank you.
You're very well. Tell us the story behind that particular Christmas song, if you can recall. I mean, it was back in 1981.
Well, yeah. I mean, what happened is that was in a period of time when Yes was on a hiatus for a while, and I guess I'd always had an interest in Christmas music. I'd been in the choir as a young kid, and I had my favorites of some of the Christmas carols, some of them more obscure ones too. In actual fact, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, I actually made an album called Squire's Swiss Choir, which is a whole prog rock version of some of my favorite Christmas carols. So if anyone wants to pick that up, it's available.
What was the name again?
It's called Squire's Swiss Choir.
Very clever.
It's an album. It has about 12 tracks on it, and it's like a lot of Christmas carols with a prog rock kind of guitar, bass, drums, and keyboard kind of set up, as well as a choir. So that's something worth getting, anyone who's interested in Christmas music. But back to "Run with the Fox," which actually is I do put that on the end of this album too. It's reissued on that album. So "Run with the Fox" was just a time when Alan White and I were hanging out, and I got together. I think with Pete Sinfield too. He was involved in the lyrics of that tune, and It's good to listen to. Thank you for playing it.
You're very welcome. In fact, my wife bugs me because I actually throw that on the CD player in the car in the middle of June. I love that song so much. All right, Chris. Chris, thank you. Thank you so much for this. Appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. Hope Santa is good to you and your daughter. All the best in 2014. We look forward to seeing and hearing you, the GMC, on March 29th.
Okay, Gary. Nice talking to you.